Hi guys, I'm Christina Rienzi, thriller author and also president of Sisters in Crime Central New Jersey, and I am here today to talk about introverts in an extrovert world. Just to give you a little background, my history and experience is in both corporate leadership and human resources, as well as I have my master's in counseling psychology, and I'm currently a leadership and development coach. So I do have an interest in this topic, as well as I am a writer and I'm an introvert. I actually scored the top 1% of INFJ on the Myers-Briggs, which is an assessment for personality types. And so I understand a lot about what it feels like to be an introvert in an extrovert world, especially when it comes to writing. So what I'm going to do today is talk a little bit about the difference between an introvert and extrovert, as well as what are some top tips for writers when it comes to being an introvert in an extrovert world. So the true difference between an introvert and extrovert isn't about being social or outgoing. It really is about your energy, where you get your energy from and where your energy is depleted from. And so for an introvert, you get your energy from being alone. When you're an extrovert, you get your energy from other people. So in order to replenish your energy when you've been around a lot of people as an introvert, you need alone time. In terms of an extrovert, you actually need to be around people to get your energy back. So being alone actually depletes your energy. So that is why when there are introverts out at parties or at networking events and things like that, they may be a little bit more quiet and shy. They may not talk as much, or they may lose their energy quickly and get tired or just not be in conversations as much as the extroverts. And that has to do with energy. And the more you're aware of that, the more you can take care of yourself around that and control that so that you can be the best version of you when you're out in the world networking and dealing with readers and doing all the extrovert type stuff, which we do have to do. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because I think you do hear a lot how people say, oh, to me, especially like Christina, you can never be an introvert. You're so outgoing. You're so social. Well, there's a limit to that. And I do that and I have that, but I need to be in my office with the door closed, writing or quiet time and just sort of replenishing that in order to give that kind of energy. And it's equal. The amount of energy I give, I need to be replenishing. So you really have to take care of yourself in that regard. So anyway, I'm going to give you guys my personal top 5 tips of being an introvert in an extrovert world as a writer. And I'm going to start from number 5 and go to number 1 in order of what I consider reverse importance. So number 5 is how you spend your time. The majority of the time that you spend as a writer is probably going to be behind your laptop writing stories, plotting stories, connecting on social media, and so forth. And that is great because as an introvert, you are technically alone. You're behind a laptop, you're in your home, you can make it as comfortable and quiet as you need it to be. And so there is that level of protection there. Even though you're interacting online and writing, you are getting your energy replenished that way. So that is great. And the majority of your time spending it on writing and behind the laptop is actually really good for you as an introvert and a writer because you are connecting socially. So that is important. However, there are going to be times where you do need to get together with people one-on-one and or have a call or a Skype or things like that, interacting even in person. And the recommendation there is, as much as you can do that one-on-one, do that because groups of people will drain you. Social events will drain you. So as much as you can spend your time with individuals one-on-one, the more energy you will have on reserve. So that is my number 5 tip is spend the majority of your time as a writer, either alone, doing the writing thing you do the best, or if you're interacting with others one-on-one. Okay, tip number 4. Really important for any situation, but especially for introverts and extrovert in an extrovert world. Be yourself. I know that sounds self-explanatory, but it isn't. I think a lot of times introverts feel like they are quiet, they are shy, maybe they don't fit in, maybe they feel different than other people. And so you feel like in order to be successful as an author, you need to be outgoing, you need to be all over the place at all the time and every event and interacting with every reader and putting yourself out there constantly. And if that's not who you are, then that's not what you want to do. You want to be yourself. You want readers and fellow writers to get to know the real you. And that means being honest with yourself about who you are and being transparent to the readers and writers in your life. And what I mean by that is, to give you an example, my first writers comp, well, actually it wasn't my writers comp, it was my first book signing. It was in New York City, and it was a big book signing, and I was terrified. I was quiet. Didn't know how to act. I sat down. I didn't engage. I felt like, what am I doing here? This is overwhelming. And I did get a little nudge from the people I brought to say, get up, shake hands, talk to people. And that did help. But it was very overwhelming. And so what I did was I was honest. And I told everyone, hey, this is my first book signing. I'm a little shy. I apologize if I'm quiet. I'm not, quite sure how to act. And I will tell you, the support you get when you're honest about these things is amazing. People get it. Many readers are also introverts, so they understand. So it never hurts to be honest. Be yourself, be transparent. Tell people you're a little overwhelmed, like you're happy to be there, but you are an introvert, and you're learning and you're trying. So I think it's completely fine to be honest and transparent about that. Also, in being yourself, do not compare yourself to others, because there will be authors who are extroverts, and they may be drawing a crowd because they're animated and they're telling stories or whatever's going on, and that's not better or worse than an introvert. It's just different. And if you are yourself and you truly are the person you are, with all of the things that are your strengths and the things that you have challenges about, you will draw in the readers and people that want to be with you. You will draw in your people. So remember that. You be yourself, be transparent about who you are, and at signing events, conferences, and networking, you will draw in the right people, the people who appreciate who you are. So please, for number 4, just be yourself. Be the wonderful introvert that you are. Okay, so for number 3, support. Support is huge. I don't just mean in general with your groups online. We all have our writers groups online. We have our writers groups that we go to in person. We have all of these things. But support is really important, especially for an introvert, because sometimes you may feel like you're not as engaged as others, maybe in person, and you're not jumping into a conversation, so you miss something, or you're, kind of protecting yourself, your energy, and you're keeping to yourself and not interacting as much. And so you're not making those networking connections. You may feel like you're alone a lot in this. And that is not the case. Many, many authors are introverts. And many of us have worked really hard to come out of our shells and to push past that. It doesn't mean it doesn't affect us. It just means that we are working at it, working at the social piece, the extrovert piece, when we're around readers and authors. But we do the best we can. Some events, I'm really outgoing. I have all my energy. I've saved it up. I've taken the time to, regenerate that. So when I know, hey, I have a writers meeting on Saturday, I'm staying home Friday night. I'm going to go to bed early. I'm going to do all those things because I want my energy for that. When I come home from that, no energy there, and probably for another day or so. So it's like I save it all up. This is practice. This isn't overnight, but know that it's possible. Having that support is huge. So what I mean by that is, if you're going to a book signing, if you're going to a networking event, if you're going to a writers group, conference, anything, bring someone along. Go with a girlfriend, go with your guy friend, go with somebody who you trust, who knows you, and who is kind of your lifeline. And I've done that with everything. Only recently will I now, do I have the courage to go alone, but I do usually bring someone with me, because I know that if things get tough, I have somebody to lean on, I can talk to, I can say, like, I'm overwhelmed, I need to take a break or whatever, and you've got somebody there who gets it and can step up and help you out. And it's so, so important. Even if it's not a writer person, it could be a sister, your mom, a best friend, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, like whoever that is, bring someone along, 9 times out of 10, they're so happy to support you. They're so proud of you for your work that they are more than welcome. They want to be there. They want to do for you. So bring your friends, ask for support. And when you're engaging with people, this is really important and a great tip too, in terms of the support piece. You don't always have to talk. You can ask questions about the reader. What do you like to read? Where are you from? Let them talk. That sometimes is less energy, so it's easier to do. Also listen. Listening is good. Engaging, nodding your head, smile, shaking hands, those kinds of things. It seems so simple, but when you're overwhelmed and you're an introvert in an extrovert world, in the writing world, it isn't, you have to practice. It doesn't always come naturally, but once you practice, it becomes natural and it's easier. And again, still will drain you because if you're an introvert, your energy is depleted by other people, no matter. It's how you prepare for that and how you recover from that. That's really, really important. So number 3 is support, really important. Number 2, one of the things that are really hard for a lot of us to do, know your limits. Know how much you can do and how much you can't do. What can you handle? What can't you handle? How much can you handle? Can you do a 3-day writers conference? Is that too much? What about a 1-day writers conference? Half day? Maybe just an hour a day. I don't know. Everyone's different. Know your limit. Sometimes you're not going to know this till you test it out. You go to an event, you say, oh my gosh, I went to a 3-day event. That's way too much for me. I can only do a 1-day event. And that is in terms of like a conference or something like that, right? But when it's week by week, know your limit. How many things can you do socially? How much can you commit to? We always want to do so much. We want to do everything. We don't want to miss an opportunity. We want to be present, especially as an introvert. You're online a lot. So if there's an opportunity to meet readers in person, you want to take it, right? Scary as it is, we do want to put ourselves out there. So just don't overbook yourself. Remember, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say that's too much for me. I don't have the energy for that. I can't handle that, or I'm not ready for that, or you don't even have to explain. You can just say no. And it's okay to say no. You're not missing some, amazing opportunity that's never going to come back around. I truly believe if you're working hard and you're dedicated and it's meant for you, it will find you. But you don't want to burn yourself out in the process. So know your limits, learn your limits, know them, stick to them, put boundaries up, and, be true to those limits because they're going to serve you. They're going to serve you well. So number 2 is know your limits. Number 1, simple. I said it in the beginning. This is the most important thing. If you do nothing else in life, in writing, in whatever, the most important thing for an introvert is alone time. You need it. You really, really need it. And I know there are extroverts in your life that aren't going to understand this. They're going to think you're blowing them off. They're going to think you don't want to hang out. They're going to think maybe you're selfish. Maybe, you're, I don't know, avoiding. Whatever the case may be. That isn't it at all. You're an introvert. You get your energy from being alone. It's okay to tell them that. They might not understand. They might not even think there's such a thing as being an introvert. They might just say, oh, that's an excuse for you not to come hang out with me. Well, whatever they're going to think. Tell them, I need my alone time. I'm an introvert. I get drained when I'm around people. I need to regenerate it. I need to be alone. So it's okay. And over time, they will see when you have your energy to spend, you're going to spend it on them. But you need that alone time. Make sure you have it. Look at your calendar. Make sure there's some white space. Whether it's 15 minutes a day, an hour a day, or a day off a week, whatever. Just know you need it. And alone time could be writing. It could be, if that works for you. Sometimes alone time is more than that. It's writing plus sitting in the yard and listening to the birds, or, taking a nap, or going for a walk, or spending time with your pet. Whatever, reading, listening to music, sitting in silence, meditating, whatever that means for you, you need it. You need it for energy. So understand that when you are alone as an introvert, you regenerate your energy. When you regenerate your energy, you can give it away however you like. If you want to give it to a party you're going to that night, fantastic. You want to save it for Sunday, fun day with your family, great. You have a lot going on in the weekends. You know you need a lot more of it. Well, build in alone time. You got something Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. Guess what? Saturday during the day, spend a few hours alone. You need it. You need to regenerate it. It's possible to do that, and it's possible to give it away. You just have to understand how that works. And again, everyone's different. Everyone is going to have a different amount of time that they need alone, or the limits that they can take on being in an extrovert world, interacting with others in person, and know that when all of it's said and done and you're exhausted, it's normal. You're tired. You gave all your energy away. You gave it, all of it away. You saved it up and you gave it away. Now you got to regenerate. So keep that in mind. It's nothing, it's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It just is. And the more we know what is, the more we can prepare and recover from that. So in summary, now that I've talked your ear off for 15 minutes, in summary, the top 5 things to think about as an introvert in an extrovert world. Number 5, okay, is spend the majority of your time reserved for being either doing your work online or one-on-one. The majority of your time. That's going to be interacting, and you're going to get the benefit of engaging, but you're going to be pretty much alone. So majority of your time, try to spend it online, one-on-one when it comes to the writer's world. Number 4, be yourself. Be honest, transparent. Tell people what you need from them. Explain you're an introvert. When people are aware, they're understanding. Number 3, get support in your world. Make sure you have somebody. Drag someone to the Net Writers Conference. Have someone you can call when you need them, when you're overwhelmed. That support is everything. Number 2, know your limits, your personal limits. Don't overdo it. Say no if you need to, but understand that's really important, okay? And number 1, most important thing for an introvert and an extrovert world is getting that white space on your calendar, creating alone time from a schedule standpoint and also from an as-needed standpoint. In the middle of something, you're exhausted, go walk away for 5 minutes. Know you need it. It's really important. You can do this. You can be an introvert in an extrovert world. You can be a tremendously successful